Black Eyed Peas concert a couple weeks into the semester.
First, we met in a cornfield. We were covered in violet paint.
We see each other, I would say, for a coffee now and then. I feel like I send her a lot of text messages, but she's too busy to answer.
She wasn't even in our lives at that point. He just found her on some movie set doing some BS job and brought her home with him.
I don't know that no one else had invented the idea of bruschetta before me, but I don't know that they didn't. Bruschetta on toast. I can make bruschetta with tomatoes. I can make bruschetta with olive oil. That's why they say you don't fight fire with fire. It only leads to losing your family. And no, I haven't seen them since. I don't know anything about where they are. I'd really rather not talk about that, but if we're talking about dirt, okay, I can talk to you about dirt. You want to talk about mulch? Want to talk about how to compost? Because I know how to compost.
We studied abroad, and we kind of went to different parts of Europe. I was in Prague, I was in the Czech Republic, I'm in Czechia now, and she was in Moscow, and would not let her leave, actually. She had to spend 2 semesters there, because I guess, you know how college students are, they're really into activism and stuff, and I guess she said some things that made her a dissident.
This was a little bit, was this around Woodstock, before Woodstock? The 60s are all out of my head. First, we met in a cornfield. We were covered in violet paint. Well, we stayed in that cornfield for the next 2 weeks in these tents. We ended up wearing pants as shirts, wearing underwear on our face. I went pantless for most of the early 60s.
I had been interviewing a lot of really small local designers, and I was guys, Stella, Calvin, you guys, have you thought about putting an event together to show off all of your new collections each season at the same time?
I need her to come back to make clothes.
And they're like, that sounds chaotic, that sounds crazy. And I said, yes, but that's how you know it's a good idea.
Ariana, I think, was the first friend I truly had ever. But, after meeting her, I just kind of opened up, and I was really just this loud social butterfly, if you will, with one friend.
It was a marathon, not a sprint, but with a lot of sprints within it. It was a number of sprints adding up to 26 miles, and that was college.
She was the star student from that school. She was going to get out of Jersey.
There was a need for a student press. So my friends and I got together and we were like, we need to start a free press here on campus.
We were kind of a little rebellious, but in a cute way.
We are the first official student publication in the history of the university, if you can believe that. Back in the 70s, we were doing the work, we were really doing the work that needed to be done. In the history books, we won't get credit for the role that we had in Nixon leaving office, but can I say that it wouldn't have happened without us?
NYU's kind of shady anyway, so if anyone could cut a deal with the Russians, it's NYU.
And then eventually I graduated and went on to become the youngest editor at Vogue. No one expected a girl from the suburbs of Paris to end up at Vogue ever at all.
I'm sorry, can you tell
very intentionally never gave her my phone number. And that was because I didn't want her to be able to contact me. I didn't get fired. I married the CEO and I didn't have to work anymore. And then I got her fired.
I don't speak French anymore, in part because of what happened at Vogue. It's a chapter in my life that I feel that I've needed to close.
She has to have some kind of alternate income, you know? She's the type of girl who does shots at a bar. It's disgusting and classless, and we don't know what to do with her because no matter how many times she throws up or passes out on the street corner or gets on her knees yelling about how she's on her period and can't get laid, she won't stop. She's constantly spiraling. She's been spiraling since I met her years ago.
If you were to give her a piece of advice, what would it be? What would you tell her?
Wheel train goes the fastest.
My name's Landry. Call me Dree for short. I trained Ariana in the early 2000s. See the progress that I've made. Pretty much drink one of these a day. You can do shots too, apparently. Landry doesn't back down from a challenge. That's the juice.
Oh, I'm Dana.
There is actually a secret tunnel under... Oh, I probably shouldn't say this. There is a secret tunnel under Washington Square Park. I don't know if you've heard of H&M, but we weren't that. It was sort of a cult.
So we were driving around for most of the late 70s, just making music all over LA County.
What was the dance troupe called? What was it called? The dance? I don't know. It wasn't the cheerleader. It was something. It was like marionettes, but different.
You know, not to brag, but like, we were in the scene for a while.
I can hear her voice right now, you know? And she would just sing and sing. Hero by Enrique Iglesias.
After that, the band broke up pretty soon.
I was walking in Union Square, and I saw this woman rubbing the cement. At first, it didn't really faze me. Like, I feel like you just see a whole bunch of shit. But then I saw this, like, violet streak, and I was sent back to the 60s, back to the last time I saw her, back to our cult. And I went over, and I, like, kneeled down. She was sweaty and gross, and I had to lift her chin up. And those eyes were filled with passion. But she didn't stop rubbing the cement. She kept rubbing the cement. And I asked her, like, can you stop? Like, do you want to sit and talk? Like, Ariana, I haven't seen you for years. Like, kept rubbing the cement. And I sort of just had to leave her. And I just think it's sad. I just think it's sad that, like, she was right.
And what do you see her doing in the future?
Oh, disappearing. Into nothingness, oblivion. Nobody will remember her. 5 years from now, it'll be like she never existed.
It hurts that her words were so true. Because we really thought we were gonna do something, and we did something, but you can never do enough.
The queen of Colonia was Ariana DiValentino. That's what we called her. Everyone knew.